Greetings everyone, this is Normaline and this is your weekly dose of Normaline goodness as we all talk about as we all learn from the stories that we read and from the stories that we hear. So hello, welcome back to my channel, and yes, I'm sorry if I'm a bit hingos because this is one of the times nga medyo masakit yung heart ko. But nonetheless, we still go on to things that we need to do or we've set ourselves to do. Kasi if we stop moving, then wala. I mean, you'll drown in the sadness and all the darkness that's been in your heart if you don't keep on moving. So, laban lang! So, for this week, we'll be talking about this week's Let's Read, which is Alamat ng Pilipinas. Yay! So, if you haven't heard or read Alamat ng Pilipinas, I've uploaded that here in my channel. Just click on this link here, and listen to me read Alamat ng Pilipinas. Alright. And don't worry, it's in Tagalog, but I've put subtitles in it. English subtitles in it. Wow, Laisha, diba? Alright. Okay, so without further ado, let's just get into our reviewing. Is another story out of Philippines myths and legends. It's still part of our folklores and kwentong bayan, like the Alamat ng Damat ni Noche. We don't know its author and all of that things, publisher, because it's from word of mouth and we pass it to generation by word of mouth. Ganun. Story of Alamat ng Pilipinas. The story says that the three big islands of the Philippines, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, came from the daughters of the giant. But most of us Filipinos know that it didn't became like that. Historically, this is what happened. Charot. Historically, this is what happened. So, billions of years ago, we still don't know what really happened, but hearsay that we came from the Big Bang, and the Big Bang, small galaxies, and then planets, this Earth, and then in Earth, there's this one whole land we call Pangea, and as time went by, this Pangea kind of cracked into puzzle pieces, and then they went go separate from each other, and then from those parts of Pangea, there's this little pieces of island, little puzzle pieces that is now called the Islands of the Keys. By the way, before the Pangea went go separate, people already live there from microorganisms, and then they go evolve from monkey to man, yes, and so this man back then, this humans back then, like travel from place to place, Pangea, and then separate Pangea na, okay, let's go back to separate Pangea na, and then in those little islands of we now call Philippines, there are already some people living there, though they're a bit really in the Stone Age, and they're just using stone things, and so that's what people back then, and then came in the progress, and then the culture, and then when the Spaniards came in, pickled dips on our islands, and then they named it the Philippines in honor of King Philip, and 333 years with the Spanish, we have another years with the Americans, and then the Japanese, and then our own, and then present, and then right now, COVID, this is what happens in COVID. Yeah, that's the whole story of the Philippines. Just a little bit shortened and just a little bit less in technicalities. Okay, so that's the short bali summary sa historical story ng Pilipinas. Yun, maybe I'll put another video for the story of the Philippines later, but not here because that's not the focus of our story now. Since history is not our main topic today, so unsa man ito ang topic day karon? Like, Lin, nga nung naamang ka sa tubangan, nagkagwapaw mo ka sa mga tubangan, nga dili man day history mong storyaan. Char! Well, I'm here today to give to you the lesson of the story. Each people has has their own perspective on what the lesson is. And then when I read the story, the first thing that came into my mind is the lesson of obedience. If Minda just followed what their father told her to do, then maybe she wouldn't have died, diba? Yun. So while I was thinking of the lesson of the story, the lesson of obedience, I kind of like compared the story to more famous stories like Adam of Eve, Moth and the Flame, Pandora's Box, diba? These stories also give the lesson of obedience. Adam and Eve, their obedience in following God, not to eat the fruit, the forbidden fruit. Moth and the Flame, the mother moth telling the baby flame not to go near the flame. Pandora's Box, the God telling Pandora not to open the box because then bad things will come out there, and then like that. Yeah, so I was thinking of reasons why did they disobey in the first place? I keep on thinking, why do we disobey? And I asked some of my friends or family. I asked my sister about her idea and why people disobey, and she told me that it's human nature. We disobey. And she told me that it's part of the imperfections that we have as human beings. Well, she has an idea, but it's still not enough for me. Never enough. So I went on to ask another person, a person very close to me, and then he told me that there's a disobedience because there was no specification on what the dangers is, or Minda still hasn't experienced the dangers that is outside their cave. In short, she was ignorant of the dangers outside. That's why she disobeyed her father, because she was ignorant. She didn't know what the dangers was outside and what will happen if she goes outside. So when I heard his thoughts about it, I was like, oh, you have a point. Like, oh, this is the point that I was looking for. Ever since I thought that obeying your parents or obeying the higher authority lesson is kind of like kulang, ganon. So yeah, once I heard this from him, I was like, ooh, you're right. Minda might have not disobeyed her father if she was not ignorant of the dangers that will happen to her if she goes out, diba? Their father only told them not to go outside because there are dangers outside, not giving the exact dangers that might happen to them. Once I heard about this, I'm like, ooh, so there's actually two factors in the story why it became that way. So first is Minda's ignorance of the dangers that their father told them. And whose fault is this? It could both be Minda and also be his father for not telling them the exact dangers there is, and Minda not knowing the dangers that there is. Then second is, of course, Minda's disobedience. Most of the parents would give commands to their children because they care for their children. Most of them. And sometimes children would just forget about the care, because
we're humans. We get emotional sometimes, then we forget some things.
So yes, I think that's the lesson that I got from the story. Obedience. And then there's this another one. Ignorance. Ignorance kills. Yan. This is what happened sa Pilipinas. We're a bit ignorant of the dangers that the very bad virus can do to us. So kind of like late in fighting the very bad virus. We're still now going up in the cases here in the Philippines, diba? So, well, just keep yourself updated of the news. And when I say updated on the news, you have to be updated on the not fake news. Not fake news. Not fake news. This is a famous saying, di ba? Like, knowledge is power. Di ba? And with great power comes with great responsibility. Knowledge is power.
So the more you learn new things, the more you open yourself up to new knowledge, then that is the time when you are free from ignorance.
Okay, so I would love to hear from you. What do you think is the lesson that you got from our story? Just comment it down below. I would really love to hear from you. So that's it for this week, and I'll be seeing you in next week's Let's Read and also fiction worm reviews. And once again, salamat kaadyo sa inyong pagtanaw sa ako ang channel ug makita-kita na sa sunod siwana. Bye-bye! Amping!